Welcome to Spotlight. I'm Karen Polka, and I'll be speaking with Cassie Briggs. Today's show is sponsored by St. Clair County Department of Veterans Affairs. Welcome, Cassie, to Spotlight.
Hi, Karen. Thanks for having me.
I'm excited to talk about science today and success in science for students and young adults. So tell me a little bit about what you do.
Sure. So about 3.5 years ago, I started a company called Success in Science Career Coaching, and it's all about supporting students and early career professionals in science and medicine. So everything from exploring career options to designing resumes to preparing for job interviews and even the later stages of work-life balance.
So it's really interesting how you came across this opportunity to start a business. What were you doing before that?
Yeah, so I had a dream back when I was a 9th grader in high school, and I wanted to be a college biology professor. And sure enough, I did that. And so I was a professor at Michigan State for 5 years, and it was during those office hours that students would come to me and they would ask questions about photosynthesis. Where does that show up in the real world? And what careers incorporate that? And so it was really fun talking about how science is applied in the real world and in their careers. And probably one of the more defining moments of showing me how important the service is to students was when I had a student show up at my office, just tears running down her face, and she was holding an acceptance letter to med school, which should be a celebration, right?
Yeah, you would think so.
Yeah, she was terrified to tell her parents that she did not want to be a doctor. And so we spent many weeks together kind of talking through other options, and she found something she was so excited about, and we kind of crafted a conversation with her parents, and sure enough, she had that conversation. Her mom bought on real quick, and her dad came around. And so it just shows you how having that resource, even outside of the home, is really valuable.
Coaching is, we look at it in the sports, the sports field, but it's really important for life coaches and then the career coaching because, you spend a lot of time in academics and then maybe that's not the direction you want to go. What's your favorite part of career coaching?
There's a lot of favorite parts, but I actually just got a call last night. And she had texted me saying, I got in. Just shows she's in her 40s and just going back into school. So she was applying to master's programs, and I was very confident that she would get in. She didn't feel quite the same. And she got this acceptance letter, and instead of texting her back, I immediately called her. It was like 8 p.m. my time, but I was so thrilled for her. And it's those moments where you see everything that we've worked hard on, preparing that application, and just seeing it come to fruition.
That reward. So you work around the country.
I do.
It's not just a local here in Michigan. And do you help women and men, or do you kind of focus more on women in science?
We really are open to everyone, so men, women, and by gender. And so in that context, what's beautiful is that I have people from California all the way into Michigan looking for support. And because a lot of our services are provided virtually, it's really accessible. One thing that is local to Michigan is my scholarship program.
Okay, so it's a special scholarship for students?
Yep, so this is for current high school juniors in the state of Michigan, and it's called the STEM Career Development Scholarship. And so in October is when our applications are due, October 31st on Halloween. And you just submit an essay of how the scholarship would impact you, submit your transcripts and a recommendation letter from someone at your school. And we go through the applications, and the winner gets a year of one-on-one private career coaching.
With yourself?
With me.
That is really wonderful opportunity. What is your website that they can apply at?
Yeah, so successinsciencecc.com is our website. And if you hit /scholarship, you'll see our scholarship page, which isn't active until September.
Okay, so in September, they can start preparing for that.
Yep.
That's if students are thinking about going into some sort of science.
Yes, it is exclusive to STEM, so
Okay.
it could be science, technology, engineering, or mathematics. topics.
Okay. So you also have a podcast that I think is really interesting. You know, you're going to leave here and you're going to go talk to someone from around the world. And where can people find that podcast to listen to some of the great things that you have to offer?
Yeah, so the podcast is called Diverse Roots, Career Journeys in Science and Medicine. And you can find it anywhere you get podcasts, so Apple, Spotify. And what prompted that particular podcast was something like this is really terrifying for someone in high school or even later in life. So informational interviews, which is a conversation you have with professionals to learn about their day-to-day career life, those are really tough. And seeing me do it on this podcast with professionals not only makes that a more comfortable experience, but gives them questions that they could answer or ask during their interviews. And then they get to hear career journey stories from people that have been in STEM.
Wow, I think that's really, this whole idea of what you're doing is innovative. What is a favorite podcast that you have that you listen to?
Your Career GPS.
Your Career GPS. I think we all have those different podcasts that we learn and we just listen to these conversations.
Yeah.
You know, they're just really great. And so what's the next step for you?
Yeah, so we are actually knee-deep in launching a digital course. So that's going to essentially be a suite of courses that you can select from. So it's a self-paced course, it's high value, low cost, and so you could choose, for example, you want help with resume writing. You get STEM tailored advice on how to create your resume. And especially resumes are different if you're applying for a government job or if you're applying to industry or academia. It's structured differently. The way you'll talk about each resume bullet will be different. And so we'll provide that tailored support in the course.
And this we'll find all on your website, all of these different avenues that you are supporting young people and adults in science.
Yep, and we'll be launching those courses in fall of 2024.
Wonderful. Well, thank you for joining us here today.
Thanks so much.
So much good stuff. And thank you for joining us on Spotlight.